Greetings, light workers. This is Oil Transformation, and this is your daily oracle read for this day. It's your teaspoon of good medicine. This is a 3 card drop. The cards have been shuffled and divined, and the messages are as follows. The first card that dropped for today from the Lantern Oracle deck is the 16 of Melting Mask. And it says, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. Now, I'm going to give you all 3 cards at the same time, and then we'll go back and discuss it. The second card that dropped from the Carolyn Meese archetype deck is Destroyer. And the third card from the Power of Love is Cooperation. Okay, well, you and I know we have many, many roles that we play in this life. We are wives and husbands and daughters and sons and employees and employers and friends, and the list goes on. Confidants, whatever. The Melting Mask card says that it's time to do something a little different than what it was that you were doing. Because one thing we do know for sure is that we can count on change. So whatever it is you did and used to do a specific way no longer works that way in some area of your life. Now I'm talking about me. And so life will give you a wake-up call that whatever it is that you're doing, knock knock, do something different. So the melting mass, and let's think about melting. Melting is a slow process. So the mask is what we put on to make sure that we got those checks on the boxes taken care of and we did the thing. In whichever area that you're being pulled more than necessary or more than you can handle anymore, it's time to do some tweaking. Melt the mask so that we can show up in love and in the light of spirit with limitations. So the melting mass says that it's time to reevaluate all the roles that I play. It also says that some of these roles have shown up in my life as energizers, and some of them have showed up as drains. And those that are draining need to see more of your authentic self and less of the masked, I'm going to get it done self, the iggy self. I got it. Because when you show up and you got it, but you can't show up in love, maybe you don't got it. The second card from the Carolyn Meese archetype is the Destroyer. Now, the Destroyer truly has had enough. He or she is going to tear it all down to rebuild. But if the mask is melting, a slow process, the Destroyer is still needed because we need to go to the foundation and pull out the weeds and rebuild in a quality way. However, we don't have to hit everybody in the head with the rocks as we move them out of the way. So the Destroyer asks that you release things that are potentially destructive or that have become potentially destructive because the mass is no longer working. We move those things into a place where we pay attention as to how we move in those specific areas, because we recognize that those things have become now draining. And what is it that I need to do to release that in love so that I can pour the joy back into it? The final card in this reading is from the Power of Love deck, and it is cooperation. It's the green heart chakra color. We came here not to live someone else's life for them, not to tell them how to live their lives, but to do what we could best for ourselves so that we can be a support for those that we love. So if I'm not doing the best I can to support myself, I truly cannot help you. And so this is a time, as the masks melt and the ego has to be set on the side, that we learn to understand what our strong suits are, what we can do easily, what is beginning to take from us, and how we continue to, or how we learn to show up in cooperation, yet pouring into our hearts, so that in cooperation, when we show up with gladness, we show up energized, we show up differently. If you don't like how you're showing up now, it's time to shift. The power of love says that we all have a part to play, that we all show up in other folks' lives as either a template of how to do it better in specific areas, or an example of what we definitely don't want to do, or someone that can walk a while with you and you them and exchange good energy. Only you know where we all fit in those places if you take the time to look. Not always easy, because we're so busy doing. This means taking time to be. So this is my read for today. It's a little long. I know we don't seem to be able to have much more than 20 seconds worth of attention. So in that 20 seconds, I hope you got something that will help you shift this day. Namaste. And be well. Show up in love and light. And when you can't, pour back into your heart.